Hey guys, welcome to this review of MSI's GTX 1050. Today we're going to be looking at the specs, benchmarks, card comparisons, and pricing of the card. So stick around for more and we'll find out. Alright, let's get down to the specs. As I mentioned before, we're working with MSI's version of the GTX 1050 by NVIDIA, so the specs are as follows. We've got a base clock of 1404 MHz, a boost clock of 1518 MHz, 2 GB of GDDR5 VRAM, and 7008 MHz of memory. This card is also based on NVIDIA's new architecture, Pascal, and also supports DirectX 12. But the real question is, can it run games good? Let's find out in the benchmarks. Alright, let's start with my system config. I'm running a Core i5-4440 at 3.10 GHz based on the Haswell architecture, 8 GB of Kingston desktop RAM DDR3 at 1333 MHz, a Thermaltake Lightpower 600W, and 3 Western Digital Caviar Blues for my storage. Now, this may not seem like an actual gaming rig config, but this is exactly the perfect situation for people looking to own this card. It's in a scenario where you sort of have like a computer lying around that is sort of capable and you really want to get into gaming. Anyhow, let's get into the benchmarks. And there you go guys, those were the benchmarks. Yet, you may be asking yourself this question: holy sh**, are those numbers real on a system like this? And the answer is yes. Even the GTX 1050's direct competitor, which is the RX 460, doesn't come as nearly as close for the performance per dollar that you're paying with this card. And this is all because NVIDIA decided to compete directly in terms of price with AMD's RX 460. Now, you may previously know that AMD is the king of the budget and NVIDIA is the king of the actual performance. But in this case, we might have a new winner in terms of a new budget king. And I can say this because I previously owned an AMD card, which shouldn't probably be in comparison at all, but I previously had the Sapphire Vapor X, which is a pretty old card in comparison to nowadays, performance and capabilities. But I paid a total of $178 for this card. But you fast forward 2 years into the present, and you got a card like the GTX 1050, which only costs $109. Also, in terms of the size, you will not believe that this thing is actually 6.2 inches compared to this thing, which is a full 10 inches. It may depend on your preference on if you're a small form factor kind of person or you like beefy cards like this. Essentially, this card is only the size of your palm, and it draws only at 75 watts directly from the PCIe slot in your motherboard. It doesn't require any pins, it doesn't require any extra power. You just slap it on there and you have like at least a minimum of 300 watts on your computer, on your PSU, and you're good to go. It's also good to know that it's easier to get into PC gaming nowadays compared to last time. I mean, you can have a PC as basic as mine. I mean, I use this computer for music production and also video editing, but you can essentially have a scenario where you have a computer, it's there, it just needs one last component, aka a graphics card in this case, and you're good to go for full 1080p gaming. And let me reiterate this again, it was also impossible 3 years ago to achieve that type of performance for this price. So, without any more further rambling, my personal opinion on a buyer's choice, completely from a buyer's perspective, consumer's perspective, on whether it's the RX 460 or the GTX 1050 or any other card within this range, I would definitely go for this card. Easily, hands down. I was first very hesitant. I was like, this card is way too small. I mean, those numbers are just, fabricated. Manufacturers usually mark up their performance to a certain point just to get buyers. But I was completely blown away. And I was on AMD before this. I had no intentions of jumping to NVIDIA because I thought their prices were ridiculous for the performance that you're getting. But I think that's changed right now. If you're looking to get into PC gaming and you want the best performance for your dollar, I think the GTX 1050 is the perfect choice. Anyhow, I'd like to know your guys' opinion on this matter. Do you really think that the GTX 1050 is an actual budget card? Has it dethroned AMD as the budget king? Let me know in the comments below and let's start a discussion regarding this topic. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Subscribe for more content. Let me know what type of things you want to see on this channel, and I'll see you next time.